Hello everybody, Ruby Morrow here, coach of your Cleveland Bros, bringing you today's PPL Division 2, Season 2, Week 1 battle against Juan and the Amityville Haunters. Now before we get started, let me get a little quick preview of what we're bringing to this match. To start off is Stone Cold the Weavile, holding a life orb, standard set, Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, knockoff, low kick for the Registeel, with enough speed to outspeed a max speed Tornadus. Next up is Landorus Therian. He is holding a Choice Scarf and is my lead. I've planned from the beginning to lead Lando and click that U-turn to see what he wants to bring in, because the majority of his leads have a pretty decent way to counter him, whether that's a Focus Sash, Infernape, or a Berry holding Tornadus T with HP Ice. Landorus is there to get me initiative on turn 1. The next thing is my round 1 pick, Excadrill Shredder. Originally, I wanted to bring a Sand Rush Life Orb holding Excadrill because of his Mega Tyranitar, and then I kind of got talked out of bringing more of a defensive set with Mold Breaker, but when I sent Kelly the sets, I forgot to change Sand Rush to Mold Breaker, and kind of had no way to hit the Latias, so I threw X's on there instead of Rapid Spin. That might have been a mistake, but we'll see how that goes. Next up is Bam Bam, the Emboar with a Choice Scarf, is here to hit things and kill things. Once the Vaporeon is gone, the Vaporeon and the Latias, most things Emboar can really kill. Next up is Styles, the Thunderous T, holding the Expert Belt, Psychic, Thunderbolt, Dark Pulse, and Focus Blast. This set will 2-hit KO everything. And finally, I'm bringing Snorlax with the Chople Berry, kind of a standard Curse Rest, but without the Sleep Talk. The EQ is there for the Infernape. Chople Berry, he goes for close combat. I live it. I kill with EQ, unless he's holding a Focus Sash. But we'll see when that gets here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the match. So before we get started, let me first tell you that this battle was on Wi-Fi, and thank you, Kelly, for joining my team. Unfortunately, you won't be able to see them here. We had a long and strenuous battle, 65, 70 plus turns, and right around with 19 minutes left, we had a strange disconnection, and we thought that we would not be able to recreate that, and you'll see just how the match goes. So to start off, I led, like I said, with my Landorus T, and he goes ahead and leads with his Tornadus team, and right away I could kill this Tornadus if I go for the Stone Edge, but if this thing was Focus Sash, HP Ice kills me. So I didn't want to take my chance. I really wanted to go for that Stone Edge, but I went for the U-turn and went out into my Snorlax while he goes for his U-turn and brings in his Infernape, the matchup that I wanted every time. I wanted that Infernape to go for the close combat, eat my Chople Berry, and kill with the EQ. Sleepy Gary picking up the first kill of the season. And right here is a matchup that would never end. My Snorlax against his Vaporeon in a stall fest galore, and there really wasn't much either of us could do. I start cursing up. I thought I could sit up on this thing all day, and I needed about 3 or 4 curses to kill, and he goes for Haze, eliminates my curses. I go for return just to see the damage and find out that I forgot to make Snorlax happy. I got it traded and forgot to make Snorlax happy, and right then and there I knew that this battle was going to take a hell of a lot of time. I switch out into my Thunderous T, hoping to take a Scald and hit something hard, and at the same time he switches out into his Latias. I know I could take any hit this Latias goes for. He goes for Ice Beam, gets the crit. I live. I go for Dark Pulse, and he reveals the Cobra Berry. He eats the Cobra Berry, and I sack off my Thunderous, which in the long run was a bad move. But I knew I could kill with a knockoff with Weavile. So Weavile picks up his first kill, and that's why I love him so much. He goes here into his Registeel, gets up rocks, goes for Iron Head. I see that it's an offensive Registeel, and this isn't exactly what happened, but at one point or another, I switch into my Excadrill. He goes for a Thunder Wave, and I get my rocks up. And at this point, again, my switch into Vaporeon was Slowbro. His switch into Slowbro was Vaporeon, and the rest cycle begins. Like I said, this is turn 18, and you can already tell that this is a long, strenuous battle. At this point, he's just wearing me down, seeing what can happen. I'm trying to set up curses. I go and I see how much PP Haze has, and it has 30 plus whatever. And I knew that, again, this is a losing battle. So I thought I'd get as much damage as I can on this Vaporeon, just to see what his final movesets are, see what he can do. In the recreation, it's hard to get the correct Scald burns and play from here and there. If this was real, he could have killed me right there with a Scald, but in the recreation, that never happened. Somewhere down the line, he Wish passes into his Raichu and goes for a Focus Blast. I see from my calcs that Focus Blast is not a 2-hit KO. He kind of senses that and gets out of there. I go for EQ. I did not have those stats during the battle, and I did not get the crit during the battle. Like I said, this was just incredibly difficult to recreate because it was so long and because there weren't many important groundbreaking moves that occurred. The ones that did happen, like the Raichu switch in, and like a couple more that will happen, I'll get to. In this instance, I don't believe he had to Wish, but I didn't want to take the chance and crit and kill him. Again, Haze, Snorlax returns doing 9%. Why didn't I make you happy? I completely forgot. First battle since last season, if you didn't know, on Wi-Fi. So again, Scald wearing me down, returns doing nothing, Scald wearing me down, and me going for rests. There, I kind of notice a little bit of a cycle when he goes for the Wish, when I have to rest, that he's going to switch into his Raichu. And I didn't want to take the chance to switch while Vaporeon was still in, but right here, when I see Raichu's in, I know he's going to go for a Focus Blast. I go into my Landorus, and this is a turn that has major impact. In the real battle, Focus Blast connected and did about 30% to Landorus, 25%, I don't remember. But here it misses. That doesn't have that big an effect on the recreation. The move that I go for here, I'm thinking there's no way in hell he goes into anything else other than Tornadus. If he goes into anything other than Tornadus, and I go for Earthquake, I have a very good chance of winning this game. Naturally, if he's going to go into Tornadus, and I'm kind of playing for the long run here, I'm going to go for a knockoff just to see if that Tornadus had a Yachi Berry. But he goes into his damn Vaporeon. Had I gone for Earthquake, continuously gone for Earthquake, and let the Vaporeon kill my Landorus, I could have cleaned up right then and there with Emboar. Instead, I made a over prediction and went for the knockoff. And the cycle continues. A Scald, Return, Curse, Rest, Wish, pass into Raichu. Again, these burns were hard to predict, but Vaporeon never had the opportunity to kill Snorlax. Right here is another big key play. Again, he switches into his Raichu on my Rest Snorlax. And in my mind, I'm thinking, going to Landorus, quick Earthquake. Going to Landorus, quick Earthquake. But then I think, if I'm in this for the long run, Snorlax will not die, and I can just continue the cycle. I did not want to stall him out. but I had no way to kill Vaporeon. If Snorlax went down, I had no way to kill Vaporeon, and I had no chance to win. So, switch into Landorus, or, last second in my mind, switch into Emboar, take the damage, and hit something hard back. But the matter remains, do I switch into Landorus? Do I switch into Emboar? Do I stay in with Snorlax? He goes for the Hidden Power Ice, and I stayed in with Snorlax. Had I switched into Landorus, that's a dead Landorus. I have a very good chance to lose this game. He goes for the Focus Blast, and in the real battle, did not get the special defense drop. That didn't happen. I go for Rest, and basically the Stall Fest ends right about here. We disconnect. At the time, it's 5-4 in my favor, and I thought that this was terrible. I felt terrible for Juan, that we had this long, strenuous battle, and it ends in a disconnect. I felt terrible for myself, because I thought that with 19 minutes left, as long as I didn't let anything die, I would have outright won. I don't believe I would have made any more drastic plays. Now, I know what you power ranking people are going to say, oh, you didn't play to win, you tried to timer stall. I really didn't. I told him right before we disconnected that I had no way to kill Vaporeon. And he told me he had no real way to kill Snorlax. So we kind of theoried out what would have happened if the 19 minutes continued, and we agreed that the timer would have ran out with a 5-4 in my favor. Juan, you are a genuinely great person. We need more people like you. Thank you for the battle. Your team is great. The battle kind of sucked. I had no way to kill Vaporeon. Snorlax, on the other hand, didn't surprise me. Did everything I ever wanted it to do. A little grumpy at times. I will make you happy in the future. I will not make that mistake again. I was 12th in the power rankings to start the season. I got the win. Wasn't a great win, but I hope that you see that me playing for the long run, ensuring a win, was better than me making risky, bold predictions and possibly losing. I appreciate you sticking around and watching this. Hopefully we don't have any more stall fests and any more disconnects for the rest of the season, and hopefully I pick up a couple more wins.